As my Year 7 English teacher put it, it's all about the journey and not your destination. The Great Ocean Road, corner after corner, plunging cliff faces, winding roads and spectacular views. How I made it through 15 years of riding without doing a story on it is beyond me, but I'd heard plenty about it, not just the ride, but also that it was one of the most dangerous roads for riders in Victoria. Now, every great journey needs a guide, and Tom was the best there is. Well, at least that's what he reckons. And this is Tom. Looks much better with his helmet on, doesn't he? And that good-looking young fella is yours truly. This is a shot of me before we left Melbourne. And here I'm checking the bike to make sure everything is up to scratch, especially the tyre pressure and chain. Tom had put me up overnight and kitted me out with a bike just like the one I had at home. Said you don't want to be riding an unfamiliar machine on this road. And when it comes to protective gear, we had the works. Leathers, back protector, boots and gloves. If I'm bouncing off the bitumen, I want to have the best protection I can get. And believe me, you really need it on this road. Tom and I rode down to Geelong. Just after that, the highway turns into a comfortable two-laner as it heads through farmland to the coast at Anglesey and onto Aireys Inlet, a great spot for a quick breather before the real journey begins. So, where does the Great Ocean Road actually begin?
At Spring Creek, Torquay, but the real riding starts here. Look out there. Do you see anything?
Well, all I can see is water.
And apart from a bit of Tasmania, there's nothing between us and Antarctica. The weather can blow in from any direction here, and it's quite amazing how it can affect the road. If it's real hot, the bitumen can start to melt and get slippery. If it's damp, the road can be wet and slippery. And the wind, mate. You can come around a protected corner, straight into a gale force sou'westerly. You want to be ready for that one.
Well, there you go, folks. That was Tom with the weather report.
Do you want the benefit of my wisdom or not?
Yes, please. What's coming up next?
Okay, this next stage is what I call the real deal. Till now we've cruised through little coastal towns at a nice, relaxing pace. But from here, the road has every type of bend imaginable. S-bends, compound curves, sweeping turns.
So here we go. Ever see any roofs?
Oh yeah, but not this time of day.
So any other things to look out for on the road?
Buses, tourists, you name it. But don't worry, that's why I was riding in front.
Well, I'd hate to think that I was holding you back.
Mate, you know, it's not a race. This is a long road and you have to pace yourself. You know the deal, keep the 2 to 3 second gap between the bikes, keep scanning the road in front and ahead, not just watching the rider in front. Besides, if you get separated, you should always have a rendezvous point. Remember ours?
Yes. Meet at the rest stop next to the Welcome to Lawn sign.
Good.
So after Aireys Inlet, there's 100 clicks of twists and turns along the coast to Apollo Bay and beyond. Tom, you reckon some riders do the return trip in one day?
Yeah, and that's why a lot of crashes occur in the Arvo, because they get too tired.
Okay, here we are going up past Spout Creek where the road really changes abruptly. Hey, here's one of my favourite road signs. You don't see too many of those.
Yeah, you have to be prepared for anything on this road.
I'll say. Goodbye sandy beaches, hello rocky cliffs. It's a long way down if you're heading in the wrong direction.
Yeah, but those safety barriers are there to stop you taking an unscheduled swim, and if you use your head, you shouldn't be anywhere near them, except when you stop for a photo. Here's the first section of wide sweeping curves. A lot of riders overbrake or run wide on these bends.
Yeah, I can see why. The curves can be really deceiving. Even on that first bend, I had to drop down a gear and take it much slower than I'd expected, and I certainly wasn't gunning it.
No, the curves are longer than they look, so that means your sight line is going to be reduced.
Yeah, I thought I was nearly around one of these curves, and it just kept on going.
Well, you've got to keep well to the left. You don't want to end up like a bug on the windscreen of those big tourist buses.
Certainly not, and I kept my vision up, just like you told me.
Good on you. But come to mention it, you do look a bit like a bug.
Oh, thank you very much. You're a kind man. Now, this bit was a little trickier than I'd expected.
It's no place for beginners down here. You have to understand your bike, have good riding skills and know the road conditions.
Oh, well, we can't all be as good as you, mate.
Mate, even experienced riders can get caught out. But don't worry, sunshine, I knew you could ride. Otherwise, I wouldn't have let you be seen with me.
Oh, thanks, Tom. You're the man. Check this out. This is where there's heaps of shadows on the road.
Well, that's something else to watch for, especially early in the day or at sunset. It can be really tricky to spot any potholes or an oil slick or changes in the camber of the road.
And on some curves, those branches can block your sight line, so you've really got to slow down in these areas. There's some really stunning rainforest on the Great Ocean Road.
Yeah, that was beautiful, that stretch. But it also means lots of leaves and branches hanging over the road, and dew can drip down and cause wet patches. Parts of the road don't get much sun, so you can get damp spots at any time of year, even if it hasn't rained that day.
Ah, there's those S-bends.
Yeah, and then the road straightens out as you ride over the Erskine River and roll into Lorne.
Oh, look, this really is postcard material.
You know, years ago it used to be a collection of beach shacks.
Oh yeah, it's funny how things change, isn't it? So what do you look out for when you're going through Lorne?
Oh, lots of traffic, plenty of distractions, so same as always, keep your eyes on the road and expect the unexpected, like dogs or kids chasing the beach balls onto the road, elephants, that sort of thing.
Lorne is also Tom's favourite place to stop for a rest.
And grab a juice and a bite to eat.
Well, Tom, it sounds like you're going to paint the town beige.
These muffins are good.
Well, the muffin would be great if it was strawberry, but it's banana, and I hate banana. You haven't got the strawberry one, have you?
I have. Can't have bad luck, mate.
Oh, man, those bends around Big Hill, awesome. I really enjoyed that.
They're classics. You go a long way to find bends like that.
You do. There aren't any more like that coming up, are there?
Geez, here's trouble.
Oh, what? Oh, we're not illegally parked, are we?
Something's up.
Oh, man. He's really checking the bike out.
Your bike is registered, isn't it?
What do you mean, is it registered? You lent me the bike.
How'd you go on there,
It's
didn't
your
I?
bike. Mate, that's a $500 fine. Oh, right, here we go.
G'day guys, nice day for a ride.
Yep.
Your bike's down there?
Yeah, could be.
No, I just noticed you coming into Lorne earlier, that's all.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay, that was us, but I don't think we were speeding.
You sound a little unsure about that.
I'm sure.
It's
We weren't
okay. It's okay, mate. I invited Steve over. I told him about your story.
Tell me how are you? Steve Towers.
Yes. Steve, how are you, mate?
Good, thanks.
Yeah, I knew that was a setup. See, I'm a reporter.
Yeah, sure,
My instincts
sure.
were buzzing.
Actually, I noticed the Fireblade down there. Whose is that?
That's mine. It's 99 model.
Yeah, I had a 95 model.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the tricolour.
That's it,
Similar to
yeah.
that one.
I told Steve you're doing a story on the Great Ocean Road.
Yeah, I'm happy to answer any questions you want to ask me. Ask away.
Sure. Well, I actually can produce right here.
Fire away.
Awesome. All right. What would be your advice for riders doing the road for the first time?
Yeah, good question actually, Alan. I think speed is a crucial point to bring up here with riders for the first time. I mean, it is an 80k zone now along here, but it is very important that riders that are travelling along this road on the Great Ocean Road have the correct speed for the corners. 80 kilometres for a particular rider might be a cruisy speed, and for another rider it could be a hair-raising speed. So it's all about the correct speed.
So, Steve, would you say that this is possibly one of the most dangerous sections of the...
Now that you mention that, I do have a map here.
What is it with you guys and maps? Time I turn around, someone's pulling a map
This
out.
actually highlights some black spots. Yeah, so you can see here the high motorcycle accident zones are marked in with these yellow spots, which we call black spots. And there are several of them on the road there, and I believe there's been over 70 crashes between Lorne and Apollo Bay.
There's more accident zones than Clear Road.
In fact, there's been 186 injury collisions
That's a
in
lot.
about 5 years.
Obviously, some fatalities. Wow.
And yeah, some of those are fatals and some of those are serious injuries, so there's a lot.
And those black spots continue all the way, well, almost to
Past
Port
Lake
Campbell,
Hill.
yeah. So, does that bode well for the ride ahead?
Yeah, well, in my opinion, the road from here gets a little bit worse. It's a bit more narrow.
It's from Lorne onwards.
There's some decent hill climbs.
Yep.
A lot more tourists get on this section of road between Lorne and Apollo Bay.
Tourist buses stop.
Tourist buses. I've had tourists who've had to stop their car in the middle of the road and take photos.
In the middle of the
Yeah.
road.
And these are some of the hazards you're going to have. And I want people to think about that when they're riding on this road. Don't expect a clear road ahead.
Well, excellent.
Yeah.
Hey, here's a trivia quiz. What's the original name for Lorne?
I think it was Port Luton.
Very good. What year did they start building the Great Ocean Road?
Hey, I'll fill this one. I'd say 1895.
I think it was 1918.
Very good again. How many bends are there in the Great Ocean Road?
It's not a question.
Haven't you been counting?
You made that question. I did. Ben's
I
on
did.
the road. Give me that.
Should be counting, mate.
Anyway,